What's going on, my PT peeps, my Walking Dead family, my fighters? I'm One Eye Bry, also known as PT. Don't know if I'm winking or blinking, but I'm definitely thinking about Real Ones with Jon Bernthal, and have you seen it yet? So for those who don't know, Jon Bernthal played Shane on The Walking Dead, and he does a podcast interview style videos, and he's got them on Patreon. He has some clips on YouTube, and as to date, he has interviewed Norman Reedus recently and Sarah Wayne Callies. Separate interviews on The Walking Dead, among other interviews that he's done. But I want to talk about the Norman Reedus interview that he did, and I want to share a couple things that I saw online. It's done really well. You can see they're good friends. Norman Reedus talks about a couple different things. He talks about the early days of The Walking Dead, and early on, it was basically the Shane, Lori, and Rick group with Frank Darabont, and Norman Reedus was kind of an outsider. He didn't come in until the third episode. It was only 6 episodes of the first season. They went to Comic-Con, and I don't believe Norman Reedus was invited. I think it was these 3 were the main 3 there at Comic-Con, among, the other cast. But Daryl was kind of a smaller character. He was probably not supposed to survive the first season, but he did, and the rest is history. He talks about being on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, getting a star there. Jon Bernthal was there, gave a speech for it. It was pretty cool, and it's just cool to see insider stuff with Jon and Norman talking about a bunch of things. Now, they did also talk about Herschel, Scott Wilson, and how they went out partying and drinking and whatever one time, and it's kind of sad because Scott is no longer with us. He died, and Norman couldn't go to the funeral because his fiancée, Diane Kruger, was giving birth to their daughter the same day. So Norman was talking about him and how he couldn't be there, and he wishes he was, but he was there with his daughter being born. And it was just kind of cool. It's always cool when you see interviews with Jon and Norman and Andy and Denai and Melissa, whoever, inside stuff. And you can see that Jon and Norman are still good friends. I think Norman's friends with everybody. I don't know anybody that doesn't like Norman Reedus. But that being said, there is one person that they talk about that Norman Reedus has yet to be on his radio show, and that's Howard Stern. Why doesn't Howard Stern want Norman Reedus on his TV show? Please call in and let Howard know. That is a big question for a lot of people. They talk about Jeffrey Dean Morgan being on there. Jon Bernthal talked about that Howard was a huge Walking Dead fan and that he was in the hallway and he walked by him when Shane got killed in season 2. Norman talks about one time they were at this movie premiere or something, and he was sitting next to Howard's wife, and they were talking about cats for 3 minutes, and then the movie started. And then I don't know if Howard doesn't like Norman from that day on, or he has something against him, but it is a question that I think Howard needs to answer as to, does he have some problem with Norman Reedus? Will he ever have him on his show? And why hasn't he had him on his show yet? I mean, it's kind of weird because Norman would probably be on the show, would love to be on there, because they talk about Howard Stern. They, during the early seasons of The Walking Dead, they were talking about Howard and they love him so much and blah, blah, blah. But have you seen it? So definitely check out Real Ones with Jon Bernthal on YouTube. It's pretty cool. You'll check out a bunch of different interviews that he's done, and it's real content, information, questions. But let me know your thoughts. Post your comments below. I'm going to be sharing more and more information when we get it, and hopefully you'll be a subscriber if you aren't already. We truly appreciate all love and support either way. Stay safe, and as always, tell them Daryl.